If you've ever wanted to make a handmade book but felt overwhelmed by the idea, all that measuring, gluing, making the hardcover, making the book cloths, this video is for you. Today, I'm making a softcover single-section book using chain stitch technique. And I'm using my own handmade paper for the cover. This is genuinely the lowest hanging fruit for bookbinding. You can finish the entire binding within minutes with very few tools and no complex preparation. Let's get into it. I was in the mood to try something new, something lighter than a classic hardcover, something that lets me use my handmade paper as covers. Hardcover books are incredibly satisfying, but they are also a commitment. You need more tools, more precise measuring, lots of gluing, understanding of how to make a book cloth, constructing book covers. It adds up fast. This project is none of that. A single section book or a single signature book means all your pages are stacked together as one folded unit. Simple and beginner-friendly structure. Before I even think about binding, I want to talk about the covers, because this part is honestly as fun as the book binding itself. I'm using the watercolor paper I made here, and I wanted to test what it could do as a cover material. What you're seeing is one example. It's block printing. I carved a Japanese-inspired wave design into a rubber stamp and cut it into sections. I used different inks on each piece and printed everything using a hand press machine. After printing, I glued a sheet of plain paper to the back of the cover to add a little more strength. Handmade paper is pretty, but it can be delicate, and the spine especially takes a lot of stress when a book is open and closed over time. Speaking of that, here's something I learned the hard way after binding a few of these. The cover paper kept cracking at the spine. Every time I folded it, the fibers at the fold were under stress. And with repeated opening and closing, it was only going to get worse and eventually tear. So I troubleshooted with book tape along the spine. And honestly, it fixed everything and made the book look better. I have black and dark red tape. After looking at both against the cover art, I went with the dark red. It shares similar colors with the art print and ties the whole thing together. The black felt a little bit too crashing. I tore off a strip about 1.5 inches wide, laid it right at the center fold line of the cover, pressed it down firmly, and trimmed the edges clean. That tape reinforces the fold point. And bonus, it creates this beautiful visual frame around the stitching once the book is bound. For the pages, I'm using beige paper made from sugarcane. I use 7 sheets of regular letter-size paper, cut them in half. That will make about 0.5 centimeter thick finished notebook. For the binding holes, I made a template out of cardstock. I punch a hole every 1/2 inch, which gives me 10 holes total. Those 10 holes will create 1/2 inch chains along the spine. I place the template at the exact center of the book tape on the spine, clip everything together, all the pages plus the cover, and punch through all the layers at once with an awl. Once the holes are punched, I trim the tape a little so it doesn't get in the way as I bind the book. Now for the binding, this is the chain stitch, and once you understand the rhythm of it, it goes fast. I cut my thread at about 3.5 times the length of the spine. I use cotton wax thread. The wax helps it glide through the paper smoothly and gives the stitching a little sheen. I tie a knot at one end. Starting from the inside of the book, I bring the needle out through the first hole. Then I go back in through that same hole from the outside to create a small loop. I tighten that loop around a needle. This is a second needle that will be used in this stitching. And this small loop here will anchor the first chain. Now, I come out through the second hole. Pass the needle through that first loop. And go back into that same hole. That makes the first chain. Come out through the third hole. Loop through the stitch I just made. Back into that same hole. And this is the second chain. And you just keep going, out loop in, all the way to the last hole. At the last hole, from the inside of the book, I loop through the previous stitch to tie off, pull the thread taut, and trim it short. Look at those clean stitches. The chains run right down the spine, and the dark red tape behind them makes them pop. Now the binding was done, I fold the book along the spine, slowly and firmly, pressing especially along the edges of the tape so it bonds well and the fold is crisp. At this point, the book is technically finished, and you could absolutely use it as is. But I like to trim the 4H for a cleaner look. The 4H is the open side of the book, and because of how the pages are folded, the middle pages extend out a little further than the outer ones, forming a slight peak. So trimming them makes everything flush and neat. I use my cardstock template as a cutting guide. I clip it to the book with a scrap piece of paper under the clip to prevent the dent on the cover, and trim with a rotary cutter along a ruler. Hold the ruler down hard. Make one clean cut through each layer until the last. Remove the clip and the template, and the 4H is now straight and flush. Last step, pressing. I put the book that I just made and also the previous one in the finishing press overnight. If you don't have a bookbinding press, totally fine. Heavy books, bricks, clamps, or stacks of anything heavy work just as well. Here they are after one night. The press flattens out any slight warping from the sewing and gives the cover a settled, crisp feel. I'm really happy with how these turn out. The cover art, the tape detail, the chain stitch, it all came together in a way that feels very intentional, even though this is one of the simplest books you can make. If you've been wanting to try bookbinding, this is a great way to start. And if you make one, I would love to see it. Share it in the comment or tag me on Instagram at down-to-earth paper. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.